Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about the examination for professional English. So as you may know that it's not going to happen this year for obvious reasons, but it has been delayed until September, but most likely until October. Nevertheless, though, if you're going to be at home during this time and the summer, I think it's really a good idea just to do some self-study, and there are some materials that have been recommended for studying for this examination in particular. So I just want to show you 3 or 4, I guess, like a couple of books, and as well as the CD that's really important. Everybody got a CD-ROM when you started your PhD program, and so I just want to go through some of it and show you specifically some things that I think are really important for you to know for the examination. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this book. There are 2 books. One is called Test Your Reading Skills, and if you open it up, basically what you're going to find are a number of articles. Okay, they're not too long. They don't go longer than 2 pages. So for example, test number 16, magnesium chloride. Okay, it's exactly 1 page, and on the opposite page, or if you turn the page, I should say, so you'll come to a test, and in general, most of them have about 10 questions. Okay, so this test here, it starts off with true or false. You get some multiple choice. You get table completion. Okay, so you're going to, it's up to you according to what you read in the article, fill it in. Some more multiple choice and so on. Okay, here's an interesting one, the medical use of marijuana. Okay, so you can read about marijuana. It's about 1.5 pages. Turn the page and you'll come to the test. Now, not every test is exactly the same. They've all been, it's kind of a mishmash of styles, but you'll generally get a lot of multiple choice. Again, this one's got the table completion and so on. So if I skip forward, hang on a second, let me get past some of the notes here. So for example, here's one, the intelligent plant. Okay, so you read the article, it's 1.5 pages. And again, this one's a little bit, yeah, it's kind of the same. You have true, false, multiple choice, table completion, and so on. Okay, so yeah, you can find this on eShop. Okay, but if you have any problems, getting a copy of it, just write me. I have no problem sending you samples of the test, and that can also help you out. Okay, the second book that is recommended is called Test Your Listening Skills. Okay, it's kind of like the reading skills book. I'll just show you a little bit. I'm just going to scroll down, and in general, what you're going to do is you're going to find kind of the same thing, except that you're not going to have the reading. Everything is on a CD, so you'll listen to the tape script, for example, of test 1. And then you're just going to follow along, and then you're going to answer the questions. Okay, so you'll have, kind of the same sort of style, multiple choice or fill in the blank or true and false, anything like that. And the thing is, because it's a good self-study program, way at the back, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so you are going to find all the tape scripts, okay, which is, so you can even read and listen at the same time. And if we go way even further down, way at the back somewhere, so there's 32 tape scripts. And yeah, so let's get past this one here, and then you come to the answer key. So you can even check your answers yourself. Okay, the third thing I want to draw your attention to is the CD. So everybody should have got one. If you don't have one, don't panic. I still have several copies here in my office, so you can write me and I can either get you the CD. But the problem is I've got a computer, so I don't have any problems putting a CD into the drive. But a lot of students have complained because of their Mac and other laptops or other devices. They just don't have the capability. There's no device to to put a CD into, into their computer. So don't panic again. I have everything right here actually on a it's not really a PD format, it's a file format. And again, if you need to, if you need this, just send me an email and I can send it out, or more than likely I'll put it on a cloud somewhere and then you can just download it from the cloud. But what's recommended, okay, is to go to 5.1 where it says CHE, chemistry, okay? So you'll see here pharmacy, mathematics, and so on, okay? Go to CHE, chemistry, okay? And you can start there. Okay, so you're recommended generally to go to 5.1 to chemistry. And so you click that. Okay, and then what you're going to see is you're going to come to kind of like a mainframe here. Let me just get rid of this. Okay. All right, so on the left here, you come to a menu, and yeah, the stuff at the top here. So for example, types of writing, okay, composition, style, language functions, and grammar, okay. So yeah, let's look at some of this stuff here first. So I want to go through them though, okay. So the types of writing, okay. So let's have a look here. So you can click on to number 1, which is already here. Okay, so it jumps over to 1.1, and you're going to find articles, papers, technical reports, reviews, and so on. Okay, so you can either look at all this stuff, and if I click on scientific articles, okay, so it starts off with like stylation about things that you need to look for. Okay, introduction, main body, conclusion. If you go to research papers, okay, which is all the stuff that I wanted to talk about in my lectures, okay? But you have everything here though, okay? So it'll talk about the title, the abstract, introduction, all the parts of the research paper, okay? So if you go up here to number 2, to the composition, okay? So again, titles, this is something that we were talking about. You have some really great ideas also down here, things that we were talking about as well in our last, either the last lecture or the second last. I can't remember when we saw each other last, and so on. So you can go through all that stuff too, okay? There's even an icon here on abstracts, okay? And as well, it tells you how, some ways to write a good abstract, okay? But I want you to look at the grammar here, okay? So if you go to grammar, you get to 5.1, and you can go to writing numbers, but I want you to look at really this one here, the verb tenses. Look at everything. I mean, if you have time, and it's great, look at all of them. But if you go to tenses especially, this is the hardest part of the examination, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff on the present perfect and the past perfect, okay? So all of the tenses are kind of explained, and they're explained actually very well. Like, it's not too thorough, but it gives you a very basic way of using them. So you got the present, the past, and then you've got the present perfect, okay? And other tenses, okay, that are used in scientific and technical writing, okay? So for example, the past perfect, okay? And the future tense with will, okay? Even the conditionals here. So you can go through it, just quickly, there's a brief description of what they're for, okay? There's some stylization, of course, points to check in your writing. But what I really like about this CD is if you go back to it, so if you come here where it says verb tenses, you've got 4 exercises. Okay, so we can go to exercise number 1. All right, this one here is expressing the future. Okay, choose the most suitable verb, form of the verb. Okay, so if you look here, we've got like an abstract of some sort. By using the right restraints, the required intramolecular distances and angles. So if you click it, okay, so you get a choice here. You will obtain, you are obtaining, you are going to obtain. So let's have a look here. So if I click the first one, will obtain, yes, I've got it, it's the correct answer. Look here, there an increasing demand for bioanalytical, computational, and analytical chemists in the future. So if I click it again, let's have a look here. Okay, there is going to be, there is being, and there will be. Okay. Well, what do you think here? Okay. All right, so going to be, this is like an intention, or will be. Let's have a look here. All right, there's going to be. Okay, so I'm not going to explain why, at this point, why I use will and why I use going to be. There are several ways to express the future, okay, but you've got everything kind of explained if you go back to the regular, or at least to the main part of the menu, okay. And you can check things like that with will and so on. Okay, so just have to go through it all, and you'll find the correct stuff. Unless anybody is interested, I have no problems. In fact, I would be very glad to do a tutorial just on strictly on grammar. Actually, maybe I will in the future because I've got time to do all these videos. Okay, the last thing I want to look at is a website. It's called Breaking News English. This is also highly recommended, especially for the listening, but it's got a lot of really, really good exercises. So generally, I mean, it is news, but it's news geared to people learning English. So have a look here. You've got all these great articles. These ones came out yesterday, so you can see April 15th, 2020. And right away, you're always going to see the top three. They're not the top, like, best. I mean, the three, maybe the newest ones, okay? You can go down. There's a bit of advertisement there. And there's a lot of stuff written right now, of course, about COVID-19, okay? So, for example, you can see all the dates. So here's 5th of April, the 7th of April, 9th of April, and so on. And you can just choose any of these articles. In fact, there are, if I go down, there's more and more and more. Okay, there are 2,881 news lessons on this website. Okay, so you can click it, and it starts with the three newest that we have. These are the ones we just looked at, and it just goes down and down and down. It goes for several years, okay? So for example, look at this. Here's one about Canadians. So we can click this, caremongering trend, okay? And this is interesting. Okay. You're gonna come to a menu once you click it, okay? You've got, you can go to the print also. You don't have to print it, of course, but you've got a 27-page lesson if you like, okay? And you can go through everything there. So it starts off with a table of contents. It'll have the article about Canadian caremongering. It'll explain what that is. Okay, so you can either read it. Okay, there's stuff even for teachers. How to start discussion. There's all the glossary and everything. For example, emerged, outbreak, kindness. Anything like that. Vulnerable, zranitelny, okay? So you can go through all the new vocabulary, all the glossary as well. And anyways, once you've read it, go through all of this stuff here. There's some really great exercises, okay? Some of it you can do with a partner, okay? But if you're going to be by yourself, it's not a problem. You've got paragraph 1, so you've got the word on the left, you've got the definition on the right. Paragraph 2, you've got true, false, a synonym match, and so on. All right, so I'm just going to go back here. Now, if you want to do some really good listening, go to the listening part. You can click the first one, the North American and the British English, right there. Click it. Okay, and you've got all these different kinds of speeds. So you have two accents. You have a North American accent, or you have British accent. Okay, you've got slowest, slower to medium, and then you've got fast and faster. It's up to you, really. It's all the same. It's just some of it has been slowed down and some of it has been speeded up. Okay, so let's start with the medium. Listen to it first. I'm just going to turn the volume. Sorry about this. All right, then. Good. Let's go there. Click it.
Canadians start caremongering trend. This is breakingnewsenglish.com.
Okay.
A new term has emerged.
All right, so you can listen to it or just scroll down a little bit here. Okay, and you'll come to the reading. So you can read and listen to it at the same time.
The advent of the coronavirus outbreak.
Okay.
The word caremongering started trending after acts of kindness in Canada. The word comes from the less positive word scaremongering, which is a recognized part of the English lexicon.
Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, so that's basically it. I just wanted to show you some of those resources. So if you really want any of the reading or any of the stuff from the listening book, and you can't find it because, well, first of all, you can't get to the shop, so it's not possible to buy a physical book. An e-shop, I think, has just the reading, and it doesn't have the listening one for whatever reason. So if you have problems, just send me an email. I don't mind sharing some of the lessons that will help you out. So basically, when you come to the exam, you're going to start, everybody starts together with the grammar section. So my recommendation is go to the CD, study for that. Then it gets separated for the reading section, the listening section, the writing. Everybody goes into different rooms because the exam is basically geared or focused towards your field of study. Okay, so yeah, and you don't have to do the writing part because you've done the writing course with me, and you don't even have to do the speaking part because you've had oral communication as well. So you will go in, do the examination, just 3 parts of it. If you fail any part of the examination, don't panic, okay? You'll get your mark either that day or the next day. And if you have failed it, it's not a problem. You can always come back on the next examination date and do the exam, but you don't do the entire exam. You only do the part of the exam that you failed, okay? And as far as I know, you have only the first 2 years of your PhD program to complete the entire examination of professional English, or Odborná Angličtina. Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you again next week. Bye-bye.